Hey Zen family, I'm here today with Jhon Gonzalez from the Los Angeles area. He's one of the most awesome DJs I've ever been to. I first learned about Jhon when I went to the 2014 convention. His fellow DJ from California, Melly Kirkwood, was doing the Latintronica session and he was helping her. And I saw the way he moved. I was like, okay, I like the way this guy moves. I can follow him easily. And then I found he was a DJ, so I kind of got obsessed, like, okay, when does this guy come here to Texas? Because I'll drive, I'll go wherever. Then I went to the 2015 convention and I decided to take his master class, and then I was just blown away. I was like, oh my God, I can follow him. His music style is exactly what I want. And so I finally am getting to have my first jam session with him, and hopefully definitely not the last. So I want you guys to learn a little bit more about him, so whenever he's in your area, you will definitely come see him. So when did you become a Zen member?
I became a Zen member 2005.
Wow, okay.
With Jenny Roberts.
Okay.
She was a huge inspiration on who I am and my style and everything.
And so where were you living at that time?
Orlando. I was living in Orlando, yeah.
So you're close to the home office where it's still blowing up and everything.
Yes, it was still quiet and it wasn't as huge. It was just starting, which is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you decide to become a jammer?
I thought I didn't have a chance moving to LA, because in LA or in California there's a lot of jammers. But Rhythm's jam session came out about, and I auditioned to be a salsa jammer. And it was just a decision just because I wanted to take the next step of the career.
Yeah.
And I got it, and then I became a choreo jammer after that.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I didn't know you were a rhythm jammer to start with. That's awesome.
That's how I started.
So how did becoming a ZJ change you as an instructor?
You really learn a lot. I feel like the trainings really help you understand what we're there for. Ultimately, we're there for the SIN members. I'm sorry, for the students.
Right.
So we are there for the SIN members, but ultimate goal is the students.
Yeah.
We want the students to feel successful. So that's what we do. We want to make sure that the SIN members get the routines that goes out to the students, and that's kind of why it's such a great program.
Yeah. So from becoming a ZJ, do you think it changed you as an instructor, the way you present to people?
Oh, absolutely. I think that also when to be a Zumba jammer, you have to have an AFA certification, and you learn so much from that.
Oh, yeah.
You really become educated on fitness and what's right and what's not right. So that really changed how I taught classes, and I was a lot more conscious about the fitness aspect of Zumba.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So what makes you pick songs for your sessions? What draws you into them?
I have to like them, for sure. It has to be one of those things that is like, I love the song, I can listen to it 10 million times, which is what I do. But it really also means, like, to me, like what the Zumba is. Zumba, it's international rhythms. It's different rhythms. So I like to pick things that we don't necessarily hear a lot of.
Yeah. Like today he did an awesome samba pop song, which was so amazing because you don't ever really do samba and Zumba. No, everybody's afraid of it. And then we did a flamenco too, which is just a beautiful rhythm.
And to me, like, that's what's worth it. It's really worth it to come to a jam because you want to learn something that you are not gonna just get anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what the beauty of it is.
Yeah, definitely. When you first hear a song though, do you immediately see choreography in your head, or do you just find a song like, I'm gonna make something work with this and start plugging things in?
I think that for me is more like in the car. I have to be in the car, put the windows up, and it has to like blast the music and
feel it.
If I feel it, then it's like, okay, all right. No, it takes me a while sometimes. Like when the mega mixes come out, it does take a while for me to be like, okay, that's a good song. The more and more I listen to it, the more and more I kind of fall in love with it. And nowadays, I feel like every song in the mega mix is like amazing because you start to create a mentality of like, oh, it's a really good song. You just see it differently.
Yeah, and it's also cool that you guys have to use them because there's times where I hear songs and I'm like, I don't know about that. Then I come to a jam session and then I see the choreography. I'm like, oh my God, now I love this song so much. So it's turned me on to so much of the mega mix stuff.
Of course, I love it.
So when people go to, certain jammers are known for doing specific rhythms. Like they always, like some people love soca, so they always have a soca in their session or something. Is there anything that people can always expect to get when they come to one of your sessions?
So when I started as a jammer, I was a salsa jammer. So I made it a point for me to always do a salsa in my jam sessions because we're so afraid of salsas as an instructors. We're always afraid, and it's really hard to find salsas. That if I promise to always do a salsa in my jam sessions, it starts to break that mentality of like, oh, I'm scared, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do good in salsa. So I like to always do salsa.
Is there any specific style or genre that you haven't really done a lot of that you want to explore more of and bring into your sessions?
It's funny because today was, not today, but I finally choreographed my first soca like 2 weeks ago, and I've done it in 2 jams already. So that was the first time doing a soca.
Oh, cool.
Not that I don't like it, it's just that I feel awkward doing it because it's not like my style, but the more and more I do it, it just feels great. And when you go to other jam sessions and see soca, you're like, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We have a jammer here in Texas who always does soca's, and they're always jacked up, over the top, kill the class kind of soca's. So yeah, that's that rhythm does. What would you tell a Zen member who's never been to a jam session why they should come to them?
I think it's more than just getting choreo. I think it's just continuing education. You don't only learn choreo, you learn cueing, you learn how to interact with your students, you learn different techniques, you learn steps that you would have never thought of, or that you've seen before, but it's just the way that you do them. It's really just more than choreo. It really is. Maybe you don't like the choreo, but you love the music, and it's something like that.
Yeah, for me, it pushes me out of my comfort zone a lot, especially like there's a lot of people here who like dance hall stuff, and I love the sound, but I'm not comfortable with some of the movements and the body movements. But ever doing it over time, now I'm a lot more comfortable moving my body that way. It's stuff I would never have done before.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about it. There's a lot of instructors who seem to be kind of territorial about music and songs used in their classes. They don't want anybody else to have it. That's, they get upset about jam sessions. Like, well, I don't want all these other people having the same stuff I have in my class. What would you tell those people why they should still come to jam sessions anyway?
I think it comes down to what really the point of Zumba is, and that is creating a community that does something that helps you physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
So whether I go to your class or my class and we have the same songs, it's creating a community. It's not about having the same choreo, it's about how you do the choreo and what you're doing with your students. So where your salsa is the same as mine, but you do it differently, you're smiling more in one part, that's what gets your students.
Yeah.
And there's always enough students for everybody. So that's another thing, like there's enough people for everybody. So you're never gonna have to really compete because there's people out there that are gonna like your stuff no matter what, whether you're you or me.
They're coming to the class for you, not for that song.
Of course.
What's something that you see a lot of instructors do that you wish you could just change? Like you're like, oh, if I could just fix this little thing for you.
I think everybody's different. I think it's more about, I feel like I want to teach everyone how to cue.
Yeah, it's so important. It's critical.
And it's not just me. I think all the jammers want to do that. I think our point and our goal is to really do cueing, because that's what makes people successful. If your students feel successful, then we feel successful, and then everybody feels successful.
Yeah.
Cueing is the most important part of anything, and the way that we do jam sessions nowadays is with cues.
Yeah. And if you cue it good, if you cue well enough, you don't have to dance half the time. You can just go, hey, do this, and they know what it means, and you can just sit there and watch them.
Don't give all the secrets away.
You could be the flight attendant in the
Giving
Zumba
all the
class.
secrets away right here.
One last thing. So you worked with a lot of people. I mean, you were in the newest Zumba edition for home and everything. You've been parts of lots of things at conventions, sessions, joined all kinds of people. But of all the people you haven't worked with, who is somebody, if you could share the stage with somebody in the Zumba world, who would be your dream to be with?
Oh man, that's a very hard question. I would love to work with Steve.
Oh, Steve's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with like Loretta, who is like amazing. She's like favorite. I worked with Natalia Ferreira, who's a SES in New York. But I haven't had the pleasure to work with Steve, and I think that would be a dream. Actually,
you are.
I am.
You
oh my
are
God,
this summer in Arizona.
Yes,
I saw that. I'm jealous. I'm like, how can I get a ticket to go to this now?
Man, I remember.
Cass and Steve, and then one of my favorite ZJs.
Oh my God, and Cass too.
It's gonna be
I can't wait to work with her as well.
That's gonna be awesome.
I always see her, and I know that she's like amazing too. And I know that she started as a jammer, and it's such a good thing to see that, And so I get to work with both of them, so it's kind of like a treat for me now.
Yeah,
it's more of a treat than a job for me. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So that's a bit about Jhon. If he comes to your town, if he's in an area near you, go to his sessions. I mean, he travels all over the place. He's going to Mexico. He's going to Brazil. He's all over the world. So check him out. If you ever want to host a jam session with him, contact him to see where he can come to your area. And that's it. Hope we can see you guys soon. Join the jam.
Thank you so much. See you later.